All right, guys, I know that when you first get started counting and tracking macros, it can feel overwhelming and a little bit frustrating. So I wanted to do a quick video showing how I track my macros for a day and maybe share a couple tips that might help you. So I'm going to pull up MyFitnessPal here. One thing I wanted to point out is if you click up here in the corner on this little like pie chart, MyFitnessPal sets macros for you. Don't pay attention to those. Just focus on the macros that I set for you. So focus on your total here versus what the goal is for MyFitnessPal. I think if you pay the premium amount, you can change your macros to like be custom, but I don't pay the amount. I just pay attention to my total. Okay, so what I usually do is I track my macros the previous day for the following day. So usually just before I go to bed, I'll spend 5 or 10 minutes just plugging in what I think I might want to eat the next day. And I don't always stick with it, but it makes it a lot easier for me to stay on my plan and kind of know what to eat throughout the day and not kind of get stuck. Sometimes if you don't pre-track, what can happen easily is that you use up all of your macros in the beginning of the day, or like use up all of your carbs and fats or whatever. So then the second part of the day is spent trying to figure out how to eat stuff that is just protein to not bring you way over on your other macros. So it's best to kind of pre-track and get it all planned out. So I'll start with breakfast. And honestly, I'm kind of just a creature of habit. I eat the same things until I get sick of it and then I move on. So I do an omelet in the morning. So I'll start with 2 egg whites. And then I will add 1 full egg. Then I add some cheese to it. And we'll go 15 grams on that. So here you can change the measurement unit. So I always use grams, but you could always do tablespoon or pounds. And then you change the amount right there. Okay, and then I usually like to do a Greek yogurt in the morning as well. And I said this in your meal plans, but I don't track my veggies. I just kind of consider them a freebie. So I usually will top my omelet with like a bunch of whatever vegetables I have on hand. So that's my breakfast usually. I will go to lunch here. Lunch varies from day to day. I might have leftovers or whatever, but I'll just put in a chicken salad. So I'll do shredded chicken and we'll probably let's go 70 grams of that. So I've been doing this for so long that I kind of just know the amount of things. I know how much 70 grams of chicken is. I mean, I still weigh it out, but in my mind, I kind of know what it is. So you'll get to that point, but for now, you can just kind of mess around with it. I'll add some avocado, and I like the Bolthouse dressing, so I will add that as well. Oh, 2 tablespoons, that sounds good. Okay, so there's my lunch, and then we'll go to add dinner. I'm gonna do tacos. Here we go. And the tortillas that I always really like to use are the carb balanced tortillas. You can really use whatever you want, but they're pretty good. Like the carbs here are pretty good. They're not super, super high. I don't want to use all of my carbs on a tortilla. I'll add some cheese. We will go 10 on that. And then I usually, instead of using sour cream on my tacos, I just do some plain Greek yogurt. So I'm going to do probably 16 grams of that. And that's dinner. Now I'll go in and I'll add some snacks, and this will vary. You know, sometimes I'm kind of more in like a sweet tooth phase, and sometimes I like more savory. So I just kind of base my snacks on that. So I always, at some point in the day, I always have a protein shake, whether it's after my workout or sometime. So I love the Bad Athletics protein. The ingredients are really good and the macros are really great as well. So with them, 2 scoops is 1 serving. So I will add that in. And then I always like to have a Yasso Greek yogurt bar after my workout. So I add that in as well. And then I will, at this point, I usually check my macros just to see where I'm at. My goal is 140 grams of protein, 140 grams of carbs, and then 50 grams of fat. And then I wanted to talk real quickly about sugar. It's easy to add up your sugars. It's great if you can stay like under 30, but honestly, 30 to like 50 is pretty decent. So don't stress too much about that. You're already focusing on so much right now that don't stress too much about your sugars. That will come later. Okay, so I am going to add in, I really like the Built Bars. So I will have them as a snack sometimes, and coconut's my favorite, so we'll add that one. And I think I already forgot where I was. Oh, I'm pretty low on carbs, so I'm going to go back to like my breakfast, and I'm going to add in some high carb stuff. So I just like plain oatmeal. That's maybe weird or gross, but I like it plain, but you can always add as a sweetener. Honey is a good option. You can add just like, you know, whatever sweetener if you want, but I'll just do plain oatmeal there. And then I will add some fruit. And I mean, fruit can have a decent amount of sugar in it, so don't pay attention to fruit's sugar too much because it's natural. The sugar I'm talking about paying attention to is more of like the processed sugar, things that are in like my Built Bars and protein shakes and things like that, or any candy that you might have or treats. I'm gonna go, I think 120 on that, and then I'll check my macros. I'm still a little bit low on carbs, so I will add in, maybe with my lunch, I'll add a banana, and we'll go 100 grams on that. And one easy, and this is probably like a stupid trick, but sometimes protein is my hardest to hit, and I'm actually doing pretty good on protein for this day, but sometimes like I just feel like I cannot hit it. So what I do instead of thinking of like new snack ideas with protein is I just go back and I add more protein where I already have it. So maybe I'll click on my my shake, and instead of doing 1 serving of it, I'll do 1.5 servings of it. And then all of a sudden, by not adding that much more to what I'm eating in the day, I hit my protein goal. So I'll kind of do that just with anything. I can add more pineapple if I want. Maybe I'll bump it up to 150 instead. Let's see. Okay, we need a little bit more fat, so I am going to go to my lunch and add more avocados. So macros, honestly, it's kind of just like something that you have to mess around with. Some days I will hit my macros really easily, and then other days it's like I can't really think of what else I want to eat to hit these macros. But another thing to keep in mind, another tip, and I put this in all of the stuff that I sent you, but if you have an event, track that first. So if you're going to lunch with friends and you know where you're going, pull up the menu, pick what you're going to have, put that in. MyFitnessPal is really great about having a lot of things like already programmed in from restaurants and stuff like that. So you could search like Kneaders. You know, I went to Kneaders and got the steel cut oatmeal. It was already in there, and so I just put that in, and it's easy to track even when you're going out to eat. Another thing I wanted to point out is they have, oh no, where is it? They have where you can add your own recipes. So they have like recipe discovery right here. But they also have this, recipe meals and foods. So you can add your own recipes in. So I have all these recipes that I regularly make. So instead of going in and like putting in each ingredient, I just will go in and I'm going to have protein waffles for breakfast. So I just click on it or whatever. And you can create a recipe here, and it's so nice. You can add it from the internet and put the URL in there, and it will just like manually upload all the ingredients and tell you what the macros are. The other thing I wanted to show you is that sometimes you might find a recipe and it gives you the macros, but it's not on MyFitnessPal. So what you can do, and this isn't like necessarily ideal because it doesn't have all of the other nutrition facts, but let's say I have a recipe that is not in MyFitnessPal and I don't want to upload all of the ingredients to it, but I know that it has 20 grams of carbs or whatever. I can search miscellaneous, just search, where is it? Carbohydrates. and I just put how many grams of carbohydrates is in there and save it. And then you can do the same thing with fat and protein. You just search miscellaneous protein, miscellaneous fat, and you can put in whatever amount. So hopefully that helps. I'm still like a little bit low on mine, but honestly, I can't really think of any snacks right now. So I will add those in later, but now I have a pretty good outline for my day of what I'm going to eat for my meals and several snack ideas. And I can, based on how I'm feeling tomorrow, I can kind of add or decrease where I want to. So hopefully that helps. Let me know if you have any questions. I know it can feel overwhelming and stressful, but don't stress about it. You will get it. I feel like when I first started, it took me maybe 1 to 2 weeks, and then I felt like I was a pro and I had it down. So one other thing I wanted to say, sorry, is that if you're going, I know there's a lot to focus on, but if you're going to focus on hitting any macro, try to focus on protein. People are usually a little bit low in protein, so that should be the number one thing you're hitting. Even if you're going over a little bit in carbs and fats, try and hit your protein, and once you're regularly hitting that, then focus on hitting your other macros. Ideally, you'll just be hitting all of them always, but that's not always the case. So focus on protein, do your best, and don't stress. And if you have any questions, definitely reach out to me. All right, good luck, everyone.